Coming up on Look Today, well, we've got continuing coverage of the Greenbelt Trail initiative in Saratoga County. Plus, Saratoga PLAN continues to work on various land conservation projects. More on that coming up. And that 20-foot-long sculpture depicting historical events in Lake George is nearly complete. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm J. Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. On tonight's program I sit down with Sarah Fisk. She's Executive Director, Children's Museum Saratoga. And she's here to talk about Big Truck Day. That's happening at Maple Avenue School this weekend. I also sit down with Ann Clothier. Now she's Director of Education, Brookside Museum in Ballston Spa. And she's here to talk about an archaeology camp known as Brookside Digs. Plus we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, we have continuing coverage. Greenbelt Trail initiative in Saratoga County. The Saratoga City Council met and they discussed the Geyser Trail. Now, during the meeting, there was a public comment period. And believe it or not, there were a large number of county residents who spoke out against the trail. Now, some expressed their concerns for the dangers of building the trail too close to Geyser Road, a very busy road, by the way. So Jeff Vukelik, he's the president and CEO of Saratoga Eagle Sales and Service. He offered a positive solution. He offered to lease land near the Grand Industrial Park for the Geyser Trail.
There are significant safety issues with the trail. Hundreds of 18-wheelers access an industrial park each day. Many are first-time visitors to the business park and are unfamiliar with the local roads. Additional vehicle traffic to the school, to the park, and Geyser Road businesses. Limited visibility for trucks, particularly when making turns. Limited turn radius for trucks at the park entrance at Route 50. Unsupervised use may dart into the road, leaving no time for a large truck to stop.
Oh, it's nice when the community comes out like that. Geyser Trail, by the way, is only one of many trails that's part of the Greenbelt Initiative. We spoke to Tina Carton. She's part of the planning department and head the Greenbelt Trail Initiative.
The majority of it is going to be a 10-foot off-road bike trail, bike and pedestrian. There will also be transit improvements along the corridor. We do have a bus line that runs, and they will be making sure that that happens, as well as additional sidewalks where there are gaps in the sidewalk network.
Well, you count on the fact that when it's done, it will be well thought out. In other news, we got a related story. Saratoga PLAN continues to work on land conservation projects. Now, they have a long-term goal to connect all of New York State together through a system of hiking and biking trails. And PLAN will acquire land easements and will preserve them. We spoke to John Kettlewell.
Saratoga PLAN is working on what we call the Palmertown Conservation Area to the north of us. As I said, it extends from north of Skidmore near Daniels Road, mountain biking area, all the way up to Moreau Lake State Park. And some of the trails are existing and some are over existing state lands, and others we're working on working with landowners to get easements to allow trails to pass through their property.
You know, if any of you have either walked or biked on the existing trails, it's really a wonderful experience. Switching from news to weather. Expect rain. We got thunderstorms. Let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponster with your first look weather forecast. Overnight lows for our Thursday night, not too bad. 65 towards the extreme southern part in the viewing area, 65 at Fort Edward, 66 in Whitehall. So a mild night for the majority of us here. Glens Falls, 65 degrees up towards the mountains, towards Johnsburg and Parsville. Lower 60s are expected. Cold front is making its way towards our viewing area from southeast Canada, so that's going to spawn scattered thunderstorms. We could see some heavy rainfall with some of these storms As I mentioned here in Glens Falls, 65 the overnight low. For Friday, that cold front's going to slowly pass through the area. We'll still have a few lingering storms, mostly cloudy, 85 the expected high temperature for Friday with a south breeze at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we'll continue to see those isolated storms as you walk out the door. A mild start, upper 60s to lower 70s through the 8 a.m. hour. And as you look at the 5-day outlook, we'll see temperatures dropping to the mid-70s with a 60% chance of showers on Saturday. We'll see drier conditions, so any outdoor plans for the weekend, Sunday's the best day. Mostly sunny, 74, and it'll be the best day of the 5-day forecast with shower chances returning for Monday and Tuesday, mid to upper 70s for highs, and low temps will drop from the mid-60s Friday and Saturday to the mid to upper 50s Sunday through Tuesday, winds generally from the southwest. That's a look at the first look weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I send it back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Clarence. All right, back to the news. Here's a story that we've told you about months ago. The Village of Lake George commissioned Paul Stark for a piece of art depicting historical events. Well, the 20-foot-long sculpture of American Indians in a canoe will be finished in an estimated 2 weeks, and the sculpture will be placed in front of Fort William Henry. Well, we spoke to Mayor Bob Blaze about this.
The sculpture has been here working on it now from Oregon for probably 2.5 to 3 months. It's almost completed. We're hoping to bring it down to the beach road sometime late in August and create another attraction for Lake George.
That's great. Up next, sit down with Sarah Fisk, Executive Director, Children's Museum at Saratoga. And she's here to talk about Big Truck Day that's happening at the Maple Ave School this weekend. Plus, I also sit down with Ann Clothier. She's Director of Education, Brookside Museum in Ballston Spa. And she's here to talk about an archaeology camp known as Brookside Digs. But first, if you see news happening or have a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Guess what? Tomorrow, hooky. Yes, we're doing it again. This time, though, special occasion. My wife and I are going to Chicago to see our granddaughters. Yay. So I want to thank the crew. This was some week. If you've been following us all week long, Andrew and Drew and Dana, they've just been out in the field collecting all kinds of interesting stories. And, you know, people like us. They give us access to the stage at SPAC and, and talk to the mayors, and we talk to a lot of very interesting people. So I do really want to thank the crew because we've been really putting out to get this cast ready for you every single day. One last thing. I was talking to the executive director up at the Adirondack Museum, which is now called the Adirondack Experience. And the new exhibit hall is open. And it's really worth a trip up to Blue Mountain Lake. And this time of year, it's gorgeous to take that drive and to go up there and see how exciting that place is. There's all kinds of interactive displays and whatever. Well, they very graciously said, hey, we're going to create a promotion code and give you a substantial discount on tickets if you want to go. So please go to our Facebook page, look for the post. The code will be there. Use that code and get a substantial discount for tickets so you can take yourself, your date, your family up to the Adirondack Experience, the museum at Blue Mountain Lake. It's really worth the drive. Tonight on Look TV, it's sold. That's our call-in auction program. Great estate jewelry and coins. Don't forget, tune in Monday night for the stories that matter to you. Have a safe weekend, everybody. Lot going on. It's summer. Good night.